July 11th Town Council meeting to order. And we're going to start off with a pledge of allegiance. And Aubrey, I'd like for you to lead off, and all you're going to do is start off by saying, I pledge allegiance, and we'll all join in with you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Benton.
Here.
Mr. Dodson.
Here.
Ms. Hagan. Mr. Hummel.
Here.
Ms. Walton. Present. Mrs. Shia. Here. Mr. Thompson.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move right to agenda approval. I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented in your board docs.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? So moved. All right, minutes of the June 6th meeting. I need a motion to approve the minutes on June 6th, 2019 council meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? So we're right into scheduled appointments. We're going to start with Lee, who is from the U.S. Census Bureau, and he's going to just spread the word about what's going on, what's coming up for the census. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mayor, thank you, council members. I just want to start off by saying, really, thank you all for allowing me this time to provide you some basic information about the census. And I also want to thank you in particular for the town of North Beach for allowing me to come out to the farmers market. I've had the opportunity, I think, for about 3 times to go out to the farmers market and reach out to the community, and I can tell you, it's outstanding results. The word is getting out there, which is definitely. That said, I'll go ahead and start into the slides, but I can tell you right now, I'm not going to read through all the slides. If you have any questions, just kind of get my attention, and I can go a little bit more in detail. So why do we do the census? The goal of the census is to make sure we have a complete and accurate count on the population and presenting the results to the president, to the states, and to the American people. The reason why, one of the chief, is because of apportionment. Come 2021, the seats for Congress will be reapportioned, and it will be based off the numbers that come from the single census. The second reason is for redistricting. When it comes to voter precincts, state legislative districts, school districts, all that information can be used from the census. The other big thing, $675 billion annually goes from the federal government to the states. And the only way that North Beach, Calvert County, Maryland gets their fair share is make sure that we have that complete and accurate count. And really the other part of the census is about decision making. What's the best place? What's the best time? Do we need another clinic? Do we need a hospital? What roads need to be repaired? That's why we do the census. Slide, please. So that's our slogan for the 2020 census. The goal is to count everyone once, only once, in the right place. But the only way that happens is we have to start like a grassroots effort in each community to get the word out. We need to educate and motivate. This is why the census is going to be easy. This is why it's going to be important. And more in particular, this is why it's safe. The goal is also to conduct the 2020 census with the same high level of quality as the 2010 model. That said, we're in a different environment now. People are always on the go and on mobile phones, and they're constantly on the move. So the goal is to make sure that we reach out to each and every single person and make sure they know that this is going to be the first time that they're able to take the census online. If you choose not to take it online, you'll be able to do it over the phone. If you you don't want to do it over the phone, then after the third invitation, that's when you'll receive the paper copy. But really, we want to get that word out that, hey, this is important. Next slide. So we're operating in 4 different phases. Right now, we're in that phase of establishing where to count. That is working with the post office, working with city planners to find out exactly where each individual lives. Because the invitation will not go to P.O. boxes. They will go to individual households where they live. And right now, we're in that process of basically making sure we have all the addresses. We're going to shortly, which I think is coming up in a few slides, we'll be going into the next phase, which is the listers will start going around and going door to door just to make sure, okay, well, this is what we received from the state, this is what we received from the local level. We just want to verify someone lives here. The next phase is going to be motivating people to respond, which we're already kind of moving into that phase, educating and motivating. And then April 1st of 2020 is Census Day. That is the big push. We want everyone to take part in Census Day. But that said, those invitations are going to come out in March, mid-March of next year is when you'll receive that invitation. But the big push is within that month of April, April 1st, we want to try to count as many people as possible. That way, the following months will just be kind of dedicated to following up. Next slide. So I spoke on it a little bit. We're definitely in a different environment. People are constantly on the go. And we understand that. So we have to go where and meet people where they are. So that's why we have social media campaigns. We're going to soon be rolling out commercials, all in the effort to get the word out. Hey, the census is coming. This is why it's important. We want you to do your part and take part in it. We also understand that there's a distrust in government. The way we combat that is by making sure the facts are out there, and we stick to the facts. So, and which we'll be going through that a little bit more as we go through the slides. Next slide. This represents a slide of our historically undercounted groups. Top of the list is the children under 5. From what I'm told, basically every single census, the children under 5 are always undercounted. Reason-wise, multiple reasons. It's definitely part of making sure that parents understand, like, hey, if you have a child, let's say on April 2nd, you haven't done the census, then make sure that child is counted. If you have a child on April 2nd, you have completed on the 1st, you can call back and make sure those numbers are updated. So we just want to make sure that people get the word out that in particular for children, immigrants, 18 to 24-year-olds, those are our folks that are in college. And there's a process, it's called group quarters enumeration that we'll go through for those that are in college, as well as nursing homes, hospitals, places like that. We'll go and count those individuals through group quarters. Folks with disabilities, veterans, seniors, and non-English speakers. So again, the goal is to reach out to all those demographics. And it is a challenge, but I know that I'm very confident that we'll get there. Next slide. So I talked about the $675 billion, but this is just an idea of some of the things that it goes through. The roads, so many programs like SNAP, WIC, healthcare services, prepaid, free lunch for the kids and stuff. Grants, the information that comes from the census plays a huge role in grants. So again, that's why we want to, again, help get the word out. Next slide. What does this mean for Maryland? For each person not counted, each person, it's estimated that's $1,800 per person that we're losing out on. And that's from the state of Maryland complete count committee report. So, needless to say, that's just say for one household of 6, and then you start looking at each community, let's say 2 or 3 households are missing. Starts adding up pretty quick. So we want to make sure that we get as many counted as possible. And as you know, centennial occurs every 10 years. So that number is fixed for 10 years. There's no change in it. So again, it's vitally important that you count. Next slide. This represents a low response map that we have when it comes to the census form. We basically have a program where we can go through all the way down to the county, to the street, to figure out, okay, for these different census tracts, it's going to be basically difficult to count the individuals. We use information from the 2010 census. We also use information from the economic surveys from 2016. Matter of fact, we just got an update for 2017. Basically to figure out the response rate. That said, if you're at 25%, then there's a significant challenge for your community. So we don't want to be there. However, really we want to be as close to zero as possible. Next slide. That said, North Beach breaks down to this. And if you notice on that map there, it basically goes by census tract. So you'll see there's a part of Chesapeake Beach that's in that census tract. The wind column for North Beach, when they factored in the numbers from the 2017 survey, originally when I started this job, you all were at like 20.1%. And when they factored that in, as I was looking up the information, it went down. So that's a good thing. That means word is getting out. And that means for the 2017 survey, more people responded. So you can use this information basically to figure out the demographics. How do we target those different groups to make sure that the word is getting to you? Next slide. This represents just a overview of Calvert County as in comparison to Charles County from 2000 to 2010. And that said, when it comes to Calvert County, North Beach, Chesapeake Beach, and the Barstow area are our most challenged areas. So we're really trying to increase and get the word out in those different communities. The lowest going to be in Barstow. Next slide. So how we're going to invite everyone to participate. Again, there's going to be an invitation that comes to you in the mail. Basically, it will go to the household. It will be an invitation that has a code. As I said, middle of March, that's when you'll be able to take part in the census. If you don't do it the first time, you'll receive a follow-up. Just remind you, hey, the census is open. The third time is when you'll receive another postcard. And then the fourth time is which will occur about the second week of April. That's when the paper copy will come out. Next slide. Confidentiality and privacy. It is important to know that no information collected by the census can be released when it comes to identifying you personally, your organization, any affiliation like that. You are protected. Title 13, Section 9 of the U.S. Code basically states that no census employee is allowed to release that information. If that were to happen, that is a $250,000 fine and up to 5 years in prison. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to jail for releasing anyone. I can tell you also that individuals that work for the Census Bureau were patriots who want to keep this process apolitical as possible. And we want to make sure that everyone's information is protected. No one's trying to go to jail. We just want to make sure that we get an accurate count of the population. And I've told individuals that I meet with, even if I'm working with you as a partner, I'm not passing that on. If you pass that on, cool, that's all well and good. But I am not releasing that information. Why? Because your information is protected, everything, including your business. So, let's see, what else? Yeah, so the other big thing, we will never ask you for the Social Security number Money or donations, anything on behalf of a political party, or your bank information. Other thing that we're trying to get out, especially to the seniors. You start hearing information like that, it's actually a fraud, call the cops, because we're not asking for it. Anyone that's working for the Census Bureau, they will be properly badged. I'm your person for Calvert County, so if you ever have questions and stuff, my information is at the end of these slides, but I can verify and I can run the information down. Now, there will be other individuals that's coming from the census that will be in the community, but I am strictly dedicated for Calvert County. So yeah, but once you get safe, we're going to protect your information. Next slide. So what can you do to help? Actually, and again, I just got to thank North Beach because you guys are already doing it. I recognize a lot of faces in here simply because of being out there at the farmers market, coming around and stuff. Is getting the word out through the websites, through the newsletters, all these different things that you guys are already kind of setting in motion. So thank you. Let's keep it up. Let's take it to the next level. So that way when we get to 2020, we're ready to rock and roll. What we're also asking, oh, that's one jumping ahead, next slide. This is a timeline. So we already kind of talked about it, fall of 2018 in the past, and we're still in recruitment phase. We are looking for people to work in the community, which I have a slide coming up on that. The infill address canvassing, I have another slide coming up on that, but that's scheduled to start next month. And as I said, March is when the internet self-response follow-ups is going to occur from March to July. And the big thing is April 1st of next year. That is the big time Census Day. And when this is all done, we have to have the information on the desk of the president no later than the 31st of December of next year. At the end of the first quarter of 2021, that's when that same information will go to the states. And at the end of the second quarter, that's when the information will be released to the Americans. Next slide. So infill address canvassing, as I said, listers will be starting to go around. I can't say 100% like 1 August you're going to start seeing people. This is information that they're saying is going to occur across America. But just know that you're going to start seeing in the month of August, people will just go around, and again, they will be identified, they will have their badges, they will have, the computers and stuff to basically update the addresses real time to make sure we know exactly where to send all these invitations to. It's going to conclude in October of 2019. Next slide. So the other big thing, we're recruiting for census jobs. The goal is to get people that live in the community to work in that same community. I live in Huntingtown. I work primarily here in Calvert County. I've been outside of Calvert County. I go to St. Mary's every now and again. Been up to the College Park and a few other places, but my primary is Calvert County. And it's the same thing. There's a slew of positions all the way from entry level to supervisory level. Pays anywhere from $15 per hour all the way up to $40 per hour. And the positions, they range from administrative, we're talking about, I think it's the next slide. Yeah, administrative, enumerators. Enumerators is the big one that we're looking for right now. IT management, recruitment managers, recruitment assistants. For the longest time, I was doing recruiter type position, type work. Why? Because we didn't have the recruiters out. So again, we're trying to get the word out. We are hiring. We want to get people that live in the community to work for that same community. Why? You already have your buy-in. Again, I live in Calvert County. I want to see Calvert County succeed. I want to see Maryland succeed, and I want to see America succeed. So that's why we want to get people that live in those communities. So it's like, hey, you already have your buy-in, and guess what? You're doing it for a worthy cause, and you're getting paid for it. I love doing this. Next slide. Complete count committees. So the Census Bureau has asked governments and organizations to set up a complete count committee if feasible. What is the complete count committee? Next slide. It is a volunteer a committee based on basically a task force of individuals within a community or local government to help basically increase that response rate. So we want to look for faith-based leaders, we're looking for individuals from the business sector, we want to look for folks from the school. It's basically bringing all these different groups together to help with getting the word out and increasing the response rate. Next slide. This is a sample complete count committee. It does not have to be like that. Typically, the mayor or designee is the lead. And then those are some of the positions that we're talking about: a state representative, business representative, and executive director. That said, Calvert County, next slide, will have a complete count committee. So I'm up here in a little bit, I'll talk about it now. Calvert County will have a complete count committee. What we're asking is, at least for the town of North Beach, is if you haven't already done so, start to think about who is going to be that representative for North Beach at this county level. But then also consider forming a complete count committee on your own or a sub-complete count committee. And in particular, I've talked with North Beach, just even thinking about partnering with North Beach on a separate sub-complete count committee as part of the overall committee. Why form it? Again, we want to increase that response rate. And each town, each area has experts that know the challenges, and they also have the expertise that influence the different towns. So, and we want to bring across that cross-section of community members together to focus on raising awareness. Next slide. There's the Calvert County Complete Count Committee slide. So there's Ms. Jenny, if you can stand up, Ms. Jenny Welker. She is the Complete Count Committee Coordinator for Calvert County. So we've already talked a lot. We're going to be working side by side all the way until the 2020 census is complete. And the invitation is going
This month.
this one. There we go. So the invitations, you will be seeing the invitations this month.
And I will point out, Joanne has been the complete count committee representative for the town in the past, and you're, of course, welcome to come again, but anyone who the mayor wishes to appoint.
Thanks for reminding her.
Or telling us.
Yeah.
You're a new best friend, Jay.
Or anyone else the mayor would like to appoint.
I'm good with that. No, I'm teasing.
I would like to say that the Calvert has been recognized in past censuses for increasing our response rate by as much as 5%. So that means that that's less work for the follow-up. So less people going out and knocking on doors to find the people who haven't yet submitted their form. Look forward to working with the town.
Right, next slide. So where we're at, we're asking for the town of North Beach to prepare for the census now. We've already talked about, please identify human technical resources to successfully participate, identify a point of contact or liaison for your complete count committee or sub-complete count committee if you choose to do one, and invite your partnership specialists. As I said, I live in this county. I'm all about whatever I can do. It doesn't matter, weekend, nights, whatever. I'm here to support you in your efforts for the 2020 census. Next slide. So we have a whole lot of ways to stay in contact with us. As I said, we have Facebook, Twitter, social media, YouTube. We have all these different ways to stay connected. Again, we're going to meet people where they are. Most people are using on their phone, on the internet. So we're going to meet the people where they are. So we're asking you to please connect with us. You can sign up for daily alerts, and yes, even Pinterest. You have a Pinterest site. Next slide. That is my contact information. As I said, I look forward to working with you all. I've already been very impressed and I'm very proud to work with you all already. And again, I just want to thank you for the time. So, any questions?
Any questions?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you, Jenny. You know, we get, most of our residents get our mail through the
Yeah,
PO,
that's what I'm gonna say.
which you don't mail through PO boxes.
Correct.
So how will you handle that again?
And that's what part of the, listers will be doing. They have to go to the homes. Yeah, so it will be going to the homes. And so what happens, again, starting in August, people will go to those households, hey, just to verify someone lives there. And when it comes to March of next year, theoretically, everything will be going to that household.
How will you
So
get
just
it?
like that.
How will you get it
The post office does the delivery still.
No.
So I believe for like Solomon's, everybody in Solomon's gets theirs at their PO box.
That's
like-
true.
And like North Beach. And so my understanding is that the census staff will be dropping off at the individual houses so that, since it's not at the post office, it'll be individual delivery to the households.
Okay, cool. Very good, Jenny. You've done it.
We now know that so have you. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the Board of Appeals appointment. And we have many committees, many ways for our residents to volunteer. And we're very proud that we always have individuals step up, work hard, and you can just see the love for the town because it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of work. So we have a vacancy on the Board of Appeals, and I'm proud to let everybody know that Reverend Aubra Love has been selected to serve on the Board of Appeals. And looking at her bio, I was going to read some of it, but we could be here for a while. She has a great extensive background. She lives in North Beach, over near First Street, or on First Street. And I'm excited about you being involved. So what our goal is today is swear her in before she catches on and runs out the door. So if you can come forward. And I do need to read this, so I apologize in advance. Just stand up, raise your right hand. So you're going to say, so I state your name, do promise or declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I, Aubra Love, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will do my best of my skill and judgment,
and that I will do my best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully without partiality or prejudice,
diligently and faithfully without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Board of Appeals for the town of North Beach
execute the office of Board of Appeals for the town of North Beach,
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. I apologize. That's my first one as mayor, so I'll get better. Thank you so much. All right. Good. We worked together on that. All right, let's move right into public safety report. Got two fine gentlemen back there. One's trying to hide, but he can't, so.
Good evening, good evening. Get your report in front of you. We had 160 calls for service in June. It was down a little bit from May and up a little bit from the same time period last year. Any questions on the report?
Council, do you have any questions?
For July, usually, yeah.
What's that?
Usually goes up, it seems like in July.
Yeah, it's had a pretty good year. A couple minor things here and there, but a pretty good year.
And thank you so much. I know 4th of July, there's a large, we have the one spot that people love to come to watch fireworks, and I know you guys did a great job, so thank you so much.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Treasurer?
Treasurer's report, you have my report. The period is May 1st through May 31st. The beginning balance is $407,000 in the general checking. Debits is $451,000 and credits is $275,000. Ending balance was $584,000. Total investments in MLGIP General were $3,184,000 and $88,161 in sewer capital. Water capital was $42,920. Total cash and investments was $3,900,000. For the same period last year, it was $3,430,000. Calvert County hotel tax collected during this month of May was $150.30, and there were no state business license issued.
Any questions? And also to remind everyone that all of our docs and so forth, or you can download right off the website. Also, it's called Board Docs. We've sent it out a couple of times to explain it, but if you need help with it, but you can definitely download everything that we're talking about right from the internet.
I would like to make one comment before I do get it first. Under your cash receipts, you'll see there's two cash receipts for $19,105.64. There actually are two deposits for the exact same amount. No.
And then there's one that goes out.
Yeah, yeah, it does. That's the circuit rider. And you know we share it for us, tight, so, but we run the program.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Public Works.
Good evening, everyone. We did have a progress meeting yesterday on the 261 project, so I can update the next meeting if anybody has any questions that you can ask. But if you want, I'll probably better update on the next council meeting. That is still going along well. Any issues are environmental permits, waiting on those things to happen, but the road part of the building of the road, designing the road, plans are almost done. They should be done the next week or so. And then after they're completed, that'll give time for people to look at them. And final review is scheduled actually for September. That's on track for September. Once they do the final review of the plans, they will put them out to bid still in November. Work is not scheduled to start, however, until September of 2020. They're going to wait for the summer season. We have some restrictions with the wetlands when we can work them, and actually that starts around the middle of May. So it wouldn't be any sense to start, and then maybe right in the middle of summer. And then, so we decided to probably hold off until 2020 to actually start the physical work. BG&E will be out. They have to relocate all the poles on the west side, so they'll be out beforehand. They're working on their design right now. They have to get the individual permits for each pole for wetland permits. Not, and state highway won't give them forms, so they will get them themselves, so that's a little bit harder for them. But I feel they'll probably do the bulk of their work in February, winter time. Moving the poles, set the poles, so when state highway does come in, all that stuff will be out of the way. And they're ready to start. There is a public meeting still that's scheduled towards the end of the summer. State Highway stated in the meeting yesterday that they'd like to meet with the individual homeowners first, and before we have that public meeting, so as not to have a bunch of citizens come in and like ask questions they could answer one-on-one. Better, did you give general information? Have the meeting go a little quicker when they do the public meeting. But they do plan to meet with every affected individual one-on-one. Another little bit, not a whole lot, but you have to do the right-of-way acquisitions for the construction. A lot of them are temporary just for the construction itself, and then revert back to, and we have a little business like later on. We'll talk about the town, so. One other thing that's kind of interesting, I don't want to take too much time, but I met with BG&E's new lighting rep over at the MML convention, and we actually set up a meeting over there. He came here the Friday after we got back, June 28th, I think it was. He came down, we did a complete walk through the town. We looked at all the existing lights, what we could do, what we could change, save some money. He's going to get a work order in to replace all the old wooden poles with the newer decorative black, or smaller decorative type lights. And also, he sent me a spreadsheet, and I forwarded to Joanne on the cost savings, that they changed all the bulbs in town to LED. We'll save around $900 a month just from switching over. This costs the town, it doesn't cost the town anything to do this. So he's got to make a formal proposal. going to bring up to the council, wherever we think. Once he gives me that proposal, then, we can bring it up there and sign it, and they'll start the work. Like I said, it's around, we're up $5,800 a month now. We go down to about $4,800 a month for our lighting, monthly lighting. But the police service, they're trying to go, the LED to be more energy efficient, so it helps them out in the long run too. And also help us out, everything is matching, down all the lights in the same color. Talking about putting new decorative heads on the poles, they're old, made a new style heading connection, LED head, on the black decorative, that's cool, so. That was pretty good. He's scheduled to come back out with this balls on July 26th, and after July 26th, he'll do the formal proposal to the town, and then we can agree on it.
Thank you. Any questions? No. Thank you so much. Paul?
I was going to add to that one, I actually met with the same rep the same day for two businesses. One was the church, and one in Chesapeake Beach, just because I know them. And you should encourage all the businesses to meet with them. If you talk to anyone, because they do have great programs where they'll pay for half. At my office, we did it with them, and they pay half, we pay half, and it's savings in 1 year if we make it up. So you don't think about it, but the lighting's so, I'm committed anyway, so much better than the yellow sodium lighting. So I encourage if anyone talks to any businesses to really call the rep.
To do the internal lighting, so it's not just
What
external.
they can do, one of
All,
lot lights, whatever.
inside, outside,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. So they have
You share
good
that
programs.
I can get it, I'll put it on the website, that's what I have.
Yeah, maybe we can share that with the businesses.
What I'll do is when they come in, we have a business rep that deals directly with local government, but I can get with them and see who
Right,
residential, business-wise issue.
that'd be great.
Some of the businesses.
I'll share it.
So,
Okay, where I can get out there.
Okay.
He is a resident,
Okay.
so.
Some of the businesses can also get a hold of like Rexel or other lighting suppliers. They also have programs for the PG&Es,
Do they?
Echo, and a lot. So I know Rexel is pushing through a lot of businesses to switch over to LED because of the savings and rebates.
Yeah, like what was like $1 for a while. Rexall, and then was through BGV sponsor it. If you go to Rexall and buy your light bulbs and switch over to LED, like $1, different things like that.
So the plat, we'll talk about the state highway plat later, so I won't belabor that. I'm also working with Donnie on some of the flooding issues. I guess you see them in the parking lot or work. Hopefully we can get some of them under control. The shops in North Beach, also know you probably heard some about that. We've been working with Donnie and Rick on that one, and the mayor, obviously. So if you have any questions on any of those items, please let me know for any other questions on your answer.
Great, thank you so much. Great.
I don't know to you.
Good.
Other than what you have in the report, mainly what I've been working on is stuff with, like, we just talked about with the project, with the shops, and my other main focus has been doing some cleanup with the zoning and finishing up the recommended changes with those to the council. Hopefully have that done in the next week or
We just passed the budget, and Rick and I talk pretty much every day about, he has a lot of stuff he could be rolling out that I really think that the residents are gonna love, be able to tap into. We are making a lot of improvements when it comes to the code and zoning and so forth, so stay tuned. You're gonna hear a lot from Rick
Yeah,
coming
one
up.
of the biggest things for the citizens is gonna be, to actually be an app you can put on your phone, so if you see something in town, if you see an issue, take a picture of it, you'll have a drop-down list, you can pick what the issue is, it'll come right to town, and then what you'll be able to do is you'll actually be able to go back onto that app and follow up to see what took place with whatever you sent in. So, a lot of times that's the problem now, is people don't know what happened, or why didn't something happen, or where are you with something. You'll be able to follow along without having to make a phone call, or without having to wait for somebody to call you back.
Rick, what's the timeline on that?
The implementation on that?
Yeah.
There's a build, it's probably gonna be 6 months to get everything up, done, and fully out. The zoning map is probably gonna take up to 90 days, 120 days. The zoning map that we have now is just basically a colored sheet of paper online. The new one, as Stacy just told me, will be the first one in the state of Maryland that has it. The interactive zoning map will let you look at any property in the town of North Beach. You'll be able to click on it and tell any zoning regulation, tell anything you want about the property, whether you can build, what you can do, setbacks, what's allowed there, commercial businesses. So people will be able to get everything they need. Yeah.
So by the end of the year, it sounds like maybe it'll be live.
Hopefully, but the good thing with that is the map has as many layers as we want, so we'll be able to, if we want, we can do a layer on the map that has all of our street signs. We can do a layer on the map that has all of our manhole covers, telephone poles. We can, and it doesn't matter how many layers we want, there's no extra charge for that. So once we send in the information, we build the map and load it back onto our site, and we keep it forever.
Excited. Anybody else? All right, thank you. You have the waterfront report in your board docs. As you can imagine, they've been pretty busy. We've had some great weather. Marketing, outreach.
So I'm just looking at the box sides of trip on Friday. Got a lot of positive feedback. I have kind of a little bit of negative feedback, but we have to take it as bad. I worked with Fox 5 for weeks to coordinate the whole thing, but they knew a lot about our town before they contacted me. So they did the research, and we tried to include everyone we could. Some people feel a little left out, so I apologize for that, but we can't get everybody on there. And with that being said, I did not schedule every single interview in the segment they did. And I would like to say too, Abigail's here, but I didn't know until a couple of days prior to the trip that they had another dance studio here, so I was asked by a few people why that happened. My side did a lot of the work too, so I just wanted to mention that. We didn't want to leave anybody out. So this Friday we have WGTS in town for their ice cream tour. The live broadcast starts at 3 on the boardwalk, and the ice cream is provided by our very own Gold Penguin. So that's nice. How many ice creams? 3,000 ice creams they will be giving out on Friday, and I'm sure they'll give all of them there. They'll broadcast and play music and stuff from 3 until 7, and then at 7, WGTS has brought Nashville artist Hannah Kerr to perform on the pavilion.
Going back to the zip trip, you know, August 2nd is going to be in Leonardtown, and I've built a pretty strong relationship with those guys down there, and I called them the other day and I said, so are you ready? And I could tell by their voice, I said, you don't have a clue what's about to happen. I said, you need to call Dawn. I said, most of it is Dawn was, and Stacy and the staff. I mean, it's really their call, what they do, when they do it, how they do it, where they do it. They make the decisions. What we are really is just a palette for them to paint the picture they want to paint to the national media. I think it went off without a hitch. I think pretty much everybody I've seen here had to be there at 4:30 in the morning. So there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes to make it look really easy. These guys rock and roll that day, and we still have coming up radio station, plus we have something else coming up in August, so stay tuned. You know, it's North Beach is where people want to be, so.
Dawn, are you, I'm curious, it seems like, there's like an uptick in these kind of, people, media coming to us, and even from far away, like Ohio,
Cleveland.
right, Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think this is a result of something that you're doing and they're finding us, or what's
the New Day Cleveland, to the state of Maryland coordinated that.
Right.
And they chose North Beach, Chesapeake Beach, Columbus, and that type of thing. So the state of Maryland tourism has something to do with that. Something I did, I do know that a lot of the sites do watch our social media pages. We have a great photographer, Angel, she does a lot on our Instagram page, and there's hashtags and stuff. She gets the Only in Maryland page shares a lot of our photos. And so we get recognition through social media as well. Fox 5, now, I know I've heard a couple people in town have contacted them. I know Stacy has, I have. I've always contacted them too late, kind of when they're already doing the zip trip, and they start planning these way ahead of the season. So I was surprised to get the email in March that they wanted to come here. So I never did ask, and maybe I kind of like, hey, why don't you choose us? But yeah, when
Because we're great.
I mean, but it seems like it's like more and more, which I mean, it's good. I'm just, maybe the word's just getting out more. I don't know. I'm just curious.
And I'm not so sure we were contacted by the county tourism department about the one in August. So I shared with Fair Benton the other day. I get emails sometimes, and we get phone calls here and all. And I got an email asking for brochures and information and planning a trip here next year. And I asked her how she heard of us, and she saw a display ad we did in the Southern Maryland This Is Living magazine. The other gentleman that wanted information said he was on VRBO, and I think he's from the Pittsburgh area, maybe? Is that where he's from? Anyway, VRBO, they saw a beautiful home, they checked out, our website in the town, and they decided they were coming here. They'll be here in a couple weeks. So I don't know whose house it is on VRBO. Anyway, so lots of different ways.
Just keep it up.
Awesome. Yeah, it's
Thank
great.
you. All right, Veronica. AKA Money.
Good evening. Still working on the Healthy Home Program. If you haven't put your application in, you still have time. We have completed about 6 families that have received free furnaces, Energy Star appliances. So the applications are available on the website. So apply before all the money is gone, and then it'll be cold, and everybody will need furnaces again. So we have about half the money left on that. We still have pending our street lights and the Twin Beaches Library that we have current funds for. Pending, and what I'm working on now, I'm actually working on an application with Lisa and Dawn to work on outreach and restoration and this would fund all the wonderful things that Lisa's doing and some marketing that Dawn is doing for the town. So would help offset their salaries and pay for some videos and some outreach in the community in that grant that we're applying for. Also looking into another priority, big priority that I've been focusing on all year, which is stormwater and all of the flooding in the town. This one is with the Department of Environment under the Comprehensive Flood Management Grant. So I'm looking at that right now. So that's kind of the highlights. The one thing I will say, and just kudos to the census, it is very important because it has a lot to do with the funding that I apply for all the time. And our census tract does dictate how much funding that we can get in our area. So it's so important for everybody to fill out the census because that determines how much funding that we can get all the time.
I have a couple of questions. On the streetlights, so where are we with that? And I mean, it seemed like we were awarded that a while back. Where are we with that project?
We were awarded that a while back. We do have time left. We went to a contractor, but the problem with that is the amount we were awarded was $50,000. We have 28 lights, and just for the lights alone, it was over $67,000. So we went back to that contractor. Now we're trying to maybe get a couple choices for the council to look at, and then make a decision on whether we do like 14 lights, whether we do a different style light that we can afford, or whether the town budget chip center we pay, because that wasn't included the labor they installed. That was just the lights themselves.
Oh, 60-something without the labor?
Yes.
Yeah, without the labor, that's just for the light.
Can we do less, or I mean, we can figure out later.
That's what we need to present to the council, a plan.
And we have up until June of next year to draw down all of the funding for the street lights.
And what was Joan going to say?
You incorporated a $50,000 match in the grant, so you have $100,000 for those lights. And then
So
FY
what?
20.
Okay, that much only good. And we did talk to a couple different distributors at MML to try to get, the problem is we want to go with the, match, not matching Southern Chesapeake Gas.
Right.
And we did those lights, that's where it came in at 67, because we have 28 lights in the Black Bed and Bay Ave. We want to make it be.
So we're trying
You
to
have to
get
give
some
council.
price.
Yeah,
we have
two
to
decisions to make, and then we can go with it.
Yeah, but we walked with the contractor, we put it uptown, and really what my goal was, is to come back to the council with a plan A, a plan B. We let the council decide. And we went back to the lighting people and say, this is great, but what can we do to make this tighter?
Okay, so
So-
we have a year from now.
Yeah, it'll be done sooner than that.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
But we want to make sure that we get the best bang for our buck, and it makes the most sense at the time.
We did have a couple calls before, I'm still waiting on this cost estimate for the construction and installation part. That was, that's going to be about all I have to do that.
And then on the
We can phase it out too, as an idea.
Yeah, exactly.
For the council, we could do maybe a first phase.
There might be
and a second
natural,
phase.
yeah, places that would make sense to.
Just as an idea.
And then what's the timeline on the 250? I mean, when do we have to spend that by?
Next year, next June, for the line.
It has to be committed or spent? I mean, it has to be spent.
Well, we at least need to invoice it. I know Jimmy is here. I don't know if he can say anything about the library too. No, I cannot. Okay.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure, curious. Veronica, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lisa? Community conservation.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing all well on this very wet night. Things have been really jumping for the community conservation. In the month of June, I did 8 separate programs with a total of 150 participants, which is great. It has included things like Cookies and Kids Nature Program, hosted by Sweet Sue's Bakery. So we teamed up with a business. They donated cookies. And my friend who's a master naturalist brought a wide variety of live turtles. And we did a program at the waterfront. And we had a lot of participants, including a family that was just came in from Kansas. And we're so excited that we had a beach, a boardwalk, and a turtle program. They said this was the greatest thing. And free cookies, like they like that too.
And the ocean, right? Did they say they like?
That's right, they say they like the ocean, and I didn't tell them.
We didn't hurt their feelings. That's the ocean.
We're very excited. We've done 2 different times with different local authors, William Sells and Miss Jamie Seuss, and they came out and read their books out to audiences at our story times at Sunrise Garden. We've had our first Healthy Planet Happy Hour, which was hosted by Hook and Vine, and we talked about paper straws versus plastic versus compostable. And Matt, their manager, came out and talked to our group. We got some very actively excited people from the community that want to help me on some of these projects that we're talking about. And my newest exciting project to announce is that the town of Chesapeake Beach has asked us if we would like to adopt a platform of oysters. It would be 4 oysters, beds that would be floating under Fishing Creek. And they have already had, Friendship has adopted some, and Hollow Point has adopted some, because apparently Fishing Creek has the best area around for the right water flow for oyster raising. And we would help raise a little spat, and we would have a team of people help us out, raise them, and then they get taken out right off of North Beach, about a mile out, 8 months later, and put into an oyster sanctuary. Over the past 9 years, they've put over 1 million new wild oysters out there. So it's very exciting that we will have our own, that we'll have a sign on it that will say that North Beach has adopted these oysters, and we'll have people to come out and help with that. So that's very exciting. The other thing, we were offered some of the historic guardrails from the old Chesapeake Beach Bridge that are Art Deco 80-year-old pieces. They're beautiful. The West Lawn Inn used some in front to build at their new inn. So if you admire them and you think those are beautiful, they've asked us if we would like to get a couple pieces. I just told that to the mayor, so we'll discuss where that would be nice to place these beautiful iron Art Deco railings. So I thought that was pretty exciting stuff.
Lisa, can I just add really quickly for people? So you also came to the EDC.
Oh, yes, I came to
the
the
Economic Development Committee meeting, and that was just a great conversation, looking at how, the conservation piece, some events that maybe we can do that would involve people coming and staying for the weekend, maybe, going to the businesses, so doing it like a bigger, long weekend to get people to come down, maybe stay at a place like Lee's, and I know there was an event, I think, in October, so
Yes.
there's more going on there.
We are doing, the state of Maryland is pushing birding tourism, which is right up my alley, and they have asked us to create, I'm going to be working with Calvert County Tourism, to create a birding guide to Calvert County, and including North Beach, and then in October, we're going to have a birding weekend. And hopefully that will bring people in to stay overnight and things. I'll be working with economic development to do better ideas how to make it a birding weekend. Under the birding parks, and getting people to come and stay and the VRBOs and things, that would be something else.
Restaurants. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Apparently, turtles and cookies, and you'll be really
All right, so let's move right into public comment. North Beach, Town of North Beach welcomes public comment. If you would like to make a comment, please state your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes. You can come up to the podium right over here to my right. Who would like to speak?
I do. 2 times a year, it's the only time I can come. Don't time me, please. I'll be fast. First, I just would like to thank you. Dawn has been amazing. Everybody's been so amazing for the town. And Stacy, I was very touched, very emotional. I thank you for your agreeing for what I received Friday. But I want you to know I love this town. I do everything I can to help our town to improve it, to become better. I was very touched, and every time I walk here at the town hall, I was always welcome for the girls to understand. They always have a smile, kind to me. So you all should be very proud of those ladies here because I am. They are, I think heroes, it is all of us. It is everybody's heroes. But I appreciate that you appoint me, and I'm very touching for that. Now, okay. I still did not receive my answer if I can have the $2,000, please, for making more beautiful our town. And Foxfire News said that they will come back for Christmas to see the lights. I can contact them and we can please give me my $2,000 to make it better. That's for that. Thank you, I know you're going to give me. Another thing is, I'm going to do the good things first, then I go to something that upsets me. I would like to see, maybe we'll talk another day, what we could do for our boardwalk to be free smoking. I do campaigns, I do everything you want, I do anything to help for our boardwalk to be smoking free. I would like to know also about the library, when our mayor is going to sign, or if you already signed when the library is coming. And there is 2 more things I'm done. That flew to my yard. You are parked in my reserved space, move your car away ASAP. And I know from which car came to my yard here. I kept for you all to see how beautiful it is. People own space now in North Beach that we don't know that's possible. And you all know how bad all those yellow cones. Now they started putting plaques on the poles that you could not remove the plaques. Rick, do you already?
I tried.
You tried, and they put nails on one line, just big inside the poles that you cannot remove. I tried, you tried. Other day they took the, someone put a pole all in front of my sign. Really? So I took the comb and brought it to him. Maybe you like cones. I don't. And I think maybe you all can do something about it. I like to read what the law say, what the law don't say. Because I came to the planning hall, and I was very shocked, and I left here very disappointed with the unkindness and the unpolite members on that table that day. I don't think people needed to yell. I don't think people needed to be disrespectful. I came here because John Scott and I, we will get along. I want to know the project. And 3 members of that board was very rude, very unkind, very impolite. I don't know if something can be done, but maybe other people can let you all know what happened that day. As said, I decided to look at the rules for parking in our town, how big the spaces should be, because when 3rd Street was paved again, when the governor came, we lost 40 spaces in our road. Then I understand that the space should be 23 by 7. But if there is a need for 20 cars to be on that space, we can have compact space. Then it should be 16 by 8. We had before the 16 by 8. And I remember when Don was there, I go there, don't make it too long. I remember I was bothered that then, that's too big, you know. We lost 40 space. Maybe should be a way, because the town can do that, if the law say you can, make some compact and some 23. Maybe by bringing the 4 back, we're going to help my next door neighbor going to be John Scott. And I know, you know, he really don't need it. But I don't know what y'all can do to make this parking situation not to be so much problem when there's plenty parking in our town. And that's what I have to say. Thanks for your time. And I love, when I left the meeting that day, I told them I appreciate it if y'all be more calm and more polite. Maybe we need to put some lavender here. But thank you.
Thank you, Abigail. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Abigail, I had a conversation with Councilwoman Hagan. You said that at the NML conference, she had reached out to an organization who could possibly help us to see what the spacing could be in this town. I really don't know where that's going or anything else, but I just want you to know that parking is something that we talk about on a regular basis on this council. We know it's an issue, and it's a big issue, and it's a growing concern because the number of people that are in. So, yes, I thank you for your comment.
Thank you, and it is just maybe a letter to everybody, no, nobody on his space, you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
I don't need water. Just want to bring it to everybody's attention. The tennis shoes on the lines that run from the pole at the end of the meat house down at Chestnut are still there. Nobody knows what the innuendo is from the tennis shoes over the wire. They have it over the town. It's been about 2 months.
First time, I apologize.
This is the first I heard. We did have some removed before. This is the first I heard of this.
Actually, we reported it to inspection 2 times. And there was a question about whose wiring it was.
All right. We'll definitely look into it. If it's BG&E, obviously there's nothing we can do. We're not going to touch the power line, but we can find out. Can you look at it tomorrow? We'll look at it tomorrow. Thank you. Make sure I follow up. Anything else? Anyone else? Yes, sir.
How you doing, guys? My name's Mike Greer. I'm not a resident of North Beach, but my mother is for 4 months out of the year. She rents a place in Southlands, and I've been coming here for years. And I actually work with Richard Eschman. We're partners. He's a business owner down here, and by trade I'm an architect, and we've been working on a number of opportunities for development down here. But first and foremost, we understand there's a problem with parking in town. And so what Abigail was addressing is something that we're working on right now. So we understand that parking solutions for the town, it's a multifaceted solution. I know that you have had a number of studies done I've discussed this with people in town, and I think that solving this issue before we add more development or even change any development here, I think we have to provide something to the town and something to the people here, because just adding people here is not going to help the town. So we have to come up with a creative solution. So Richard and I are working diligently together. I spent 14 years doing hospitals, parking garages for hospitals. If you've ever parked at Anne Arundel Medical Center, I apologize about one of those parking garages, that wasn't mine. The one next to the emergency department was mine. But there are solutions out there, and so I think we have to look at this as a problem that can be solved with not just changing space sizes. I think what you were discussing, Abigail, was the 23-foot was for parallel parking. It wasn't?
No, that was just me.
Yeah, parallel,
Yeah,
parallel
sorry,
parking.
yeah.
So based on the angle that you park in, there are minimum lane sizes and minimal, so if you're 30, 45, or 50-degree angles, that's all international building code. There are basic codes for that. I think that the town has adopted. But it doesn't just come to that. It comes to there are creative solutions that Richard and I discussed that will require the participation of actually town members. And so what I think is there's a really creative solution here, and it's going to require the whole town to be part of this. So what we are intending to do is be completely transparent throughout our process. So we plan to be here at meetings regularly and discussing where we are with our process, where we are with our design solutions, and giving as much feedback as we can. So I just wanted to introduce myself. So
Thank you so much.
thanks, guys.
All right, any further comment? And we've had all three of us have had a lot of wonderful comments in our conversations, and it's a pleasure having you guys on board, so look forward to hearing more. All right, let's move into business items. And we're going to the State Highway Administration Route 261 project. That was an add-on later in the day, so I apologize. Would you, Paul, we've gone back and forth many times over the last couple of days, so just want to bring this. It's pretty simple, but we do need a motion to move forward.
It is, and I have plans that highlighted, I don't know if everybody has, but Donnie, you might want to grab that in here. So State Highway Administration has come to the town as part of the 261 project and has asked for some easements and fee simple property in order to build the road. And they'll also be meeting with homeowners. They'll be meeting with you if they haven't already. Yours is on here, you can see it, I can show you. I've highlighted them in yellow, so glad to show you. But basically, we're starting here, as you know, and Anne Arundel County would be here. And I've highlighted in yellow the cases, actually give them case numbers. And they've hashed out each one and designated what would be an actual donation. That'd be a fee simple land donation, and then what would be temporary easements. And primarily the easements are so they can grade, tie in their grading into the edge of the road, do their work on the side of the road, etc. It's not an exuberant amount of land. For one, it's 0.003 acres. It's very small.
I'm
It's a
sorry,
driveway
where exactly
from-
are we talking about?
Where?
The town.
By
The town. Okay.
So the first one is the pump station driveway
Oh,
area.
okay.
That's the
Just for
first yellow one
temporary.
here.
Yeah.
Right, so your house will be on this side. And as we work our way towards Anne Arundel County, you can see the yellow I highlighted. It's a
Okay.
temporary easement for grading. And I just flip this over. Here is the Anne Arundel County on this side. Again, these would be temporary easements. And there's a small fee simple at the ends here. where the road ties back in. And you can see, look at Antelope County right away, it's almost double the size in Cowper County. So
Yeah.
amazing, you know?
And that, more or less, that's right, it's a quarry in the shoulder.
Yeah, it's a grading tie-back shoulder.
Yeah.
Usable property anyway.
Yeah.
So it's all temporary for the town?
No,
Or-
there is a small, fee simple piece here, and see the darker shade?
Okay.
That's 1,645 square feet.
Which is down on the bridge?
Yes, almost in Antelope County. And then the rest of it temporary. And then the other, let's see on here, there's a small piece, a fee simple. What's that? Actually, everything else is temporary. Didn't even have a fee simple on here, sorry.
So
So, yeah.
the piece, on the north side, going north, on the east side, how far is that from the opening into the living shore?
So this, see the hatch here?
Uh-huh.
That's the bridge crossing, so the water comes in and out of both
Right,
sides.
yes,
So right at the county line.
Right at the county line.
okay,
Sure, so it's pretty far down.
all right.
Why do they want permanent for some of it?
This end here, I think this is where the road actually ties back into Antelope County.
And I think that's also solid ground there.
Yeah, and this is all marsh, so they don't want any more than they need down there for sure.
Right.
Can't use it.
It's basically to widen the road right there.
It is.
That'll be road,
It will be.
basically, yeah.
How does that affect our sign location?
So where's your sign?
Our sign is down.
It's down further, right?
Yeah.
South.
Yeah, south of there.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's
That is south of it? It's pretty far south.
it doesn't look like it.
I know.
right by the bridge, pretty much like, you know, where the culvert is now.
This is the bridge.
Right.
Just south of that.
I was just thinking of that part down.
So they will, as part of the construction, they notified us that they will remove all the signs
The signs might
and
have-
replace them. We'll have to take them out to build it, and then we'll put them back.
They were trying
So all the plans to put the boardwalk along the side that they showed.
That's not part of this.
Oh, because they showed that all real nice when they did the last meeting to the public.
Yeah, they're not putting any, there's no boardwalk in front of the project. It's a separate project.
But we're going after the grant for,
Yeah, but it's
For
not
that.
part of
and
this.
so, and
The highway.
So it's
what's the
still
status
tied in?
of that? Is that still?
You know, we weren't awarded money the last time, and so.
Are we still trying to get it, or?
Made a final decision, we did it. Oh, we're not gonna-
All right, so basically, as I was talking to Alyssa, there's two parts here. There is the temporary easement and there's the fee simple. The fee simple,
The fee simple needs to be accomplished by ordinance. It's pretty clear that in Maryland, you can't, local governments can't convey fee simple interest in property except by ordinance. But the easements are less clear, so I'm comfortable with a motion authorizing the mayor to execute the temporary easements.
all right, so basically what we would accomplish tonight, the goal would be is, I would need a motion to authorize me to move forward, sign the temporary easements in a form that's acceptable to our town attorney.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Now, the fee simple part of it, we're,
You have to go to ordinance.
So that'll be next month.
yeah, so we can get that going and then
I'll
we
let
can
them know.
do the rest.
We can, people have said, how we know that's happening, and then that way they're comfortable, they will keep moving forward.
Done. All right, thank you so much.
And then we'll meet with the private owners separately.
Paul, will you send me?
I'll get it all there.
All right, let's move into ordinance and resolutions. We have a resolution 19-5, North Beach fee schedule. And what I'm asking for is a motion to approve the resolution 19-5 North Beach fee schedule as submitted. And basically, Joe, could you just explain that?
We have a new procedure for power companies to request a final read on their water billing. And there's a fee related, a cost related to that when you have staff going out. And we put the fee at $40 with a 2-week notice prior to settlement to try to accommodate some of these. We haven't done it in the past, we've given estimated bills. Now, some of these are 2 weeks out, so they still indicate an estimate because who knows what can happen. But if something were to happen, we would still be covered because that bill would be associated with the property. But it gives them the best information possible to close and divide that bill in between the seller and the purchaser. So that's the new policy, and we need a fee associated with it. So I made it the fee that we have for turnoffs, which is the $40.
Do we also need to fix in the water and sewer, back down to the new rate that was set in the budget? Because on here it says the 8,000.
Yeah, it should say 6,000.
So that would be everything.
That's right,
Oh,
that's right.
October, okay.
So
That's
bring
right.
that to you again.
In October,
Because we have something else going
We're
on.
getting ready to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget we have the replacement too of the water meters, so I think that's,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, no, good catch
And
there.
Mayor, I need to correct you, this is resolution 19-06. Here or there, but that is just fixed.
Thank you so much. All right, so can I have a motion to approve resolution 1906, North Beach fee schedule as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? So moved. Thank you so much. Council reports, I'd like to start with Mickey.
I like seeing a big crowd. Thanks for coming out. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we have a movie on the beach. It's Wreck-It Ralph 2, with Ralph Rex the Internet. So we have really fast in your kitchen. Other than that, is there the rest of the time?
Just want to echo Councilman and thank you for coming out tonight, especially since it's raining. For myself, I usually drove all the way from Virginia Beach tonight. The first time I did that, so that was like, okay, how many times am I going to do that? But I had a really interesting, really great month. Coming up the learning curve, I went to the municipal league retreat, and that was very enlightening. It's a good process for people like myself. But I do want to mention that, for those of you who are not aware, I do have a community-based nonprofit that I run in the town, and I'm very diligent about keeping that separate because having a very long history in federal procurement, I'm hypersensitive over conflict of interest type of human perceptions. But the reason I say that is because last weekend, and the mayor brought this up, I spent the weekend down in Leathertown with my mentor at the State Small Business Development Center, and I was like super impressed with what they've done down there to develop their businesses. But part of the reason I'm mentioning this is really kind of silly. A lot of the businesses have moved to metal straws instead of paper straws. So I thought it was very interesting, and you hadn't mentioned it in your thing, so I thought I'd just throw it out there so you can add that in your study.
And I just was, someone gave me a gift on beautiful metal straws with a little cleaner.
Right.
Jenny
Try
wants
them out,
to
and
like Jack through origins.
Yeah, I think that, you know, we were having this crazy discussion about trees and paper. So, you know, I just thought that was something that I saw interesting, you didn't mention, and that's all I mentioned. So anyway, good month, thanks, always a pleasure to be here, and see you all next month.
Thank you.
Well, I'll just build on the straw topic. I mean, I've seen the metal ones and the metal accordion ones. Have you guys seen those? So it's like an accordion, so you can, you know, fold it up and put it in your purse and like, you know, like that, and telescopes out when you need a straw. So I thought that was really cool.
It depends if you want to put it on the person to bring their own straw, which they can.
Yeah.
Or if you would like to see the businesses not use the plastic straws, which are single-use plastic.
Exactly. So, yeah, lots to talk about there. It's great to see so many people tonight, especially. Hopefully it'll be dry when we walk out in a little bit. So thanks so much. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all for coming out tonight, and like Elizabeth said, we all went to, well, fun didn't go, but the rest of us all went to Ocean City for the MMO conference. I came back with a little extra little piece of my skin missing, but that's okay. I'm trying to get into a bus. Paul and I looked at the 5G towers that we've been talking about before. And we took a tour to see what they would look like, and we have some pictures of that. Website. Yeah. But it was very interesting to see all the different ones and how Ocean City had done it. And we have an environmental meeting first Tuesday in August. Hope to see you.
I don't have any additional information about straws, so. See you in the farmer's market.
Next time, there's always next month, Paul.
My middle one's out of the plastic tip.
You sure? Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. Be safe out there.
Thank you so much, Council. Thank you for coming. Again, we're always open, we're always available. Just let us know if you have any questions for us, for the town. Thank you so much for coming out in this rain. And so we need a motion to adjourn, to move into closed session, to consider the acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matter directly related thereto, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice on a legal matter.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? So moved. Thank you so much. Thank you.